everyone, I hope you're all having a great week so far. Today we'll be making some papillons, which are French pastry, better known as butterflies or elephant ears, as we like to call them down here in Miami, orejas de elefante. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel so that you can find out how to make this recipe right at home. Before we get started, you'll need two things: sugar and puff pastry sheets, which you can find at your local supermarket in the refrigerated area. Okay, let's get started. First, you're gonna wanna pull out your puff pastry sheets out of the freezer and let them thaw for 30 minutes. This way, your dough will be easy to break apart and roll out. Next, you're gonna want to pour some granulated sugar on your work surface area so that we can place our puff pastry dough over it. Now, we can place some more sugar. I've gone ahead and used two different kinds of sugar. I went ahead and used brown sugar on top of our puff pastry dough, and we can begin to roll out. You'll know your dough is ready once you have this long rectangular shape on your work surface area. All right, now we're ready to actually roll and fold our dough. We're gonna go ahead and cut our long rectangular dough into 4 pieces. So once you have your pieces cut, you're gonna wanna fold one side over, fold the other side over, and leave a nice amount right in the middle. And then we're gonna fold over and fold over once again, and you'll pretty much end up with something like this. Now that our 4 pieces have been cut, folded, and are nice and evenly sprinkled with lots of sugar, we're gonna wanna go ahead and put these in the freezer for anywhere up to an hour to overnight so that it's nice and cool before we put them in our hot oven to cook. Now that we let our dough chill in the freezer for about an hour, we're ready to pull them out and cut them, roll them around in sugar one final time, place them on our baking tray, and pop them into a 450-degree oven to bake for 10 to 12 minutes. So we're gonna take it out of the shrink wrap, and with a nicely serrated bread knife, we're gonna go ahead and just cut some wheels. Ooh, look how beautiful these look. Gorgeous. So now we will dip these one final time in sugar before placing them onto our baking sheet. These are so much fun and easy to make. You can actually get really creative and add your own spices or different flavors into the sugar mixture. I know one cool way, or one delicious way I should say, of adding in some extra flavor is just sprinkling in some cinnamon, some nutmeg. I mean, it's really up to you as to what you want to put into your sugar mixture. But just for the sake of keeping this as classic as possible, we went with just pure sugar. You want to make sure that you work somewhat quickly because this dough is so buttery that it thaws very quickly. So even if you've chilled the dough for about an hour or 2, depending on the temperature of your house and your kitchen, this will come apart very quickly, and you want to make sure that your little butterflies, your elephant ears, stay as tight as possible. So we've cooked our elephant ears or our butterflies for 10 to 12 minutes, and we rotated them halfway. And I have to say that I'm quite impressed at how well they actually stayed together and came out. How pretty is that? Again, I can't stress enough that you need to have the dough extremely cold. But when you're baking them and you actually pull out the tray to flip them halfway, you can kind of bring them together so that if you notice that they are starting to pull apart, just make sure that you tighten both ends so that you can get the prettiest little shape that, you know, you're supposed to get when having elephant ears. I hope you enjoyed making these, and a special thanks to Martha Stewart. This is a recipe from her new cookbook and I really enjoyed it. I did kind of make it my own by adding the brown sugar, which I highly recommend. It gives it a much sweeter and lighter taste compared to just using granulated sugar. So cheers, and hope you enjoyed it.